Good morning, everyone. Jeff the Traveler here, off on another adventure in the New Mexico desert. We're heading off today to check out the Carlsbad Caverns. So come along and let's enjoy the trip. Hello, everybody. We're out here at the Caverns and getting ready to go into the visitor center, get our dang flies, get our tickets to go down the elevator and see the cavern. And let's hope we get some really good pictures and video, and I can share my experiences and my thoughts with you as we go along. And this is underground in the visitors area. Now we are entering the trail inside the cavern. A little bit dark. Actually, a lot dark. But I can see quite a bit. I don't know about y'all. Oh. Quite a bit interesting. Pan around a little bit. Things hanging from the ceiling are stalactites. The things on the bottom coming up are stalagmites. Welcome to the Carlsbad Caverns, located in Carlsbad, New Mexico. The American humorist and entertainer Will Rogers once referred to the caverns as like the Grand Canyon, except with a lid on it. If you don't know who Will Rogers is, I will leave a link below. He is worth checking out. Now, a little bit about how the Carlsbad Caverns and Caves were created. The geologic story of Carlsbad Cavern began 260 million years ago, with the creation of a 400-mile-long horseshoe-shaped reef. The reef stretched along the shelf edge of an inland sea that covered southwest New Mexico and West Texas. Unlike reefs today, this one was composed mostly of sponges and algae. As each generation grew atop its ancestors, pressure compressed the underlying reef into limestone. Several million years later, tectonic uplift cut off this inland sea from the ocean to the west. Cracks developed in the reef as it rose above sea level. Around 15 to 20 million years ago, tectonic movement started pulling the southwest region of the continent apart. A series of parallel faults created alternating valleys and mountain ranges like the Guadalupe Mountains. The rise of these mountains exposed western sections of the buried reef. As the sponge work above the water table drained, these cavities filled with air and rising hydrogen sulfide gas. The gas oxidized into sulfur that crystallized on the walls. Bacteria thriving on the sulfur created sulfuric acid, which converted the limestone into gypsum as rinds. These rinds peeled off the walls and fell into the water and dissolved. New rinds replaced the old ones. The sponge work slowly enlarged into the huge chambers. This process continued up to 2 million years ago when tectonic movement ended. Water dripped slowly from the ceiling, where soda straws and large stalactites appeared. Water falling under the floor created stalagmites. Sometimes stalactite and stalagmite met and formed a column. Draperies hung from where water ran down the slanted ceilings. Flowstone formed where water flowed over the surface of the wall or floor, while depositing layers of calcite. Some of the more unusual formations that occurred in Carlsbad Caverns are electrolytes. They grow seemingly without regard to gravity. Their twisting shapes are governed by the crystal shapes, impurities, and the force of water under pressure. The first people to discover the caves over 1,000 years ago were the American Indians when they ventured into the entrance of the caverns. They left no record of entering the dark zone of the cave, but they did leave mysterious drawings on cave walls near the natural entrance. In the 1800s, settlers drawn by the spectacle of hundreds of thousands of bats rising out of the natural entrance in the evening discovered the cavern. Some settlers mined the huge deposits of bat guano in the cave and sold it as fertilizer. Fascinated by the cave, Cowboy Jim White spent hours exploring. He was eager to reveal to others the natural wonders of this extraordinary place, but few people believed his improbable tales of a huge underground wilderness full of natural formations. In 1915, photographs taken by Ray Davis, who accompanied White on a cave trip, were displayed in the town of Carlsbad. They created the sensation and eventually convinced skeptics that the Carlsbad Cavern was everything it was said to be. people clamored to see the marvelous cave, and White took them on tours that began with a 170-foot descent in a bucket once used to haul pack guano from the cave. In 1923, the U.S. Department of Interior sent Inspector Robert Hawley to see whether Carlsbad Cavern was truly an outstanding natural scenic wonder. Originally a skeptic, Hawley wrote in his final report, "I am wholly conscious of the feebleness of my efforts to convey in words that deep conflicting emotions, the feeling of fear and awe, and the desire for an inspired understanding of the divine Creator's work, which presents to the human eye such a complex aggregate of natural wonders." Later that year, Carlsbad Cavern was proclaimed a national monument. White, who continued cave exploration for most of his life, became the first chief ranger in 1930. In 1930, Congress created Carlsbad Caverns National Park. So that's my little bit about the Carlsbad Caverns. I hope you found it informative and enjoyed it. and getting ready to get on the elevator and go on up and get some sunlight. See you when we get there. There we are, back above ground. Whew, nice fresh air and sunlight. Yeah. Thanks for coming along on my little trip today. I hope you enjoyed it and got a little bit of information out of it. I had fun doing it. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye now.